Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shattered Temple. Yes, it used to be okay. It's kind of like the broken drum and the fixed drum. The mended drum, in fact, that's what it was called, yes. Those of you who get the reference, you are gods amongst men. Small gods. I bring you Cruncher. He's from Team Complexity. He is in the orange trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the north of the Shattered Temple versus his opponent, the one and only Arg. He is in the red trunks, and he is from Team Lazarus Gaming, and he is to the south, also playing Protoss. I would like to say that was a patient style from Cruncher. What I'd actually say is that that was a incredibly lazy style from Cruncher, simply because he could have gone in 10 minutes before and ended that without any problems whatsoever. I don't know why he was waiting for 17,000 Colossi, but hey, whatever. I mean, I think we knew what the result of that was going to be. It's always something. I might as well talk about this since we're going into a PvP, so this is going to probably be quite similar for the first 5 minutes of the game. We'll find out one way or the other. But as a caster, it's always kind of hard to deal with that kind of play, because you know for a fact, with all of the information you have at your disposal, that it's very, very possible for one of these guys just to end the game right there. And you know that the other guy doesn't actually stand a chance, but you've got to make it look like that anyway, because otherwise it's boring. Therein lies the problem with it. I know some people actually prefer casters to say, oh, well, this has been over for 10 minutes. But then again, unless you're going to post-game analysis at that point, then what exactly are you going to do? You've got to try and hold out some kind of hope that this guy's going to do it. But Arg, after the failed 4-gateway attack and the massive economic advantage of Cruncher, with regards to the tech advantage as well, that was pretty crazy. I mean, you could say he has a tech advantage because he has double Robo and the Colossi coming out, even though his opponent has the Templar Archives. But he's making Archons for whatever reason, which lasted all of 3 seconds against the force of Cruncher. After that happened, it was pretty much done. I mean, it was some nice Dark Templar play, but in reality, he took the Nexus out and he didn't kill the minimal line. He did some damage with Zealots in the front, but it really wasn't all that effective at all. So that was kind of unfortunate. Maybe if he'd taken out both the Robos, maybe if he'd nailed down some Pylons. I mean, killing all the Pylons would have been a fairly good idea. At least it would have restricted him in terms of what he could build at the time. But I don't know. One way or the other, he was basically screwed. And you kind of got to act that he wasn't. But there you go. Right, Arg with 1 gas right now, and a Cybernex score. Double gas has gone down very early for Cruncher right here, and this could be a cancel situation again, as we saw last time, and he ended up cancelling his gas, and then it got stolen by Arg, which was kind of amusing, and Arg did exactly the same thing. Arg actually going for the 4-gateway play on the opening right there. Now, he is actually mining from that gas, so there is a purpose to this. Now, with 2 gas going down, that could indicate a number of things. Could indicate some early Stargate play, or could maybe be Dark Templar Rush. We'll find out. There's all sorts of possibilities with that much gas coming in that early on. Of course, it all being mined. He did Chrono Boost this Warp Gate out a little bit, but he's only got 1 gateway right now. So we'll see if it is maybe a Stargate, or if it's some kind of Dark Templar play. It'll be interesting, certainly. Cruncher keeping an eye on things, and of course he manages to steal that gas from Arg right there. At least he knows that he can prevent something for the time being. A robotics facility coming in here from Arg as well. An interesting play considering he is only sitting on 1 gas right now, but he should be able to clear that out before it really matters all that much. You can get the Observer out nice and easy. 2 more gateways coming in right now. So with all of this gas coming in for Cruncher, we'll have to see what he decides to do with it. I mean, it could be an awful lot of sentries, certainly. That's a possibility, a lot of sentries into an expansion right there, but it's a lot of gas very, very early on. We'll find out. Chrono Boost right there, and there is a Pylon, sneaky little Pylon from Cruncher. I don't know what he's really going to warp in. I mean, he is currently sitting on 1 gate, and he's got 2 more to follow it up. So if it's some kind of sentry warp in, that's kind of weird. He's on 400 gas coming in here already, so I don't know how effective that would really be. Arg is also going for a 4-gateway play, and Cruncher will see that by the looks of it. Yeah, he spotted all the gateways, so he's well aware of what's coming in right now. Cruncher going robotics facility, so it could be really, really early Colossus possibly here. But it's just with so much gas, I'd expect maybe a sentry warp in just to sink some of it, unless he wants to try and save it for a very, very long time indeed. Unfortunately, gas does not accrue interest. Some people seem to believe otherwise. Arg chewing his way through that assimilator quite nicely. Don't need to worry about that too much. And the robotics facility, was that actually scouted? We'll find out. Cruncher with an aggressive attack coming in right here, looking to do damage, and the question is how much damage can he really do? He can certainly shut down that, perhaps, although Arg is aggressively moving to drive him away right now. Arg gets pushed back, and there's a pull-off of probes in as well, and Arg with a warp in from the back, looking to try and lock down his opponent. Cruncher doing some good damage to the probe line of ARG right here, who is already down to 22 probes, now 21 to 26. So a good advantage right here for Cruncher. Cruncher has over 500 gas right now, and I really want to know what he's planning on doing with it. Because everything I've said thus far has been absolutely wrong. I was like, well, what? Lots of Immortals, one with double Bay, I suppose? Okay, it's going to be Stalkers, Sentries, and Immortals. Well, there you go. Who knows? Thinking maybe it was going to be DTs. Apparently not. Stargate. Nope. Absolutely not. ARG will be able to hold this for the time being, but he did take a lot of worker supply damage. 20 probes to 27 is the matchup. ARG gets a nice little bit of early information thanks to that observer right here. There's a shutdown there by Cruncher. This pylon still being a bit of a pain. Admittedly, it'll be sniped off right now by ARG. And we are actually going through for that fairly early robotics on the 8 or so minute mark. Looking for Colossus play. Stompy play, as I like to call it. Fully walk all over ARG at this point, but we'll find out. There's a robotics coming up right here for ARG as well, so we're going to get a little bit of War of the Worlds action coming on. Colossus versus Colossus, which always ends up in the Colossus winning, by the way, just in case you didn't realize. If we have a look at the income comparison, what you'll see is that Cruncher is streaming ahead quite nicely thanks to that early successful aggressive harassment on the 3 gateways right there. ARG will be able to hold the line against any kind of attack up until the point where the Colossi start to come out. One on the way already. There's the extended thermal lance upgrade as well. Robotics Bay for ARG is slightly behind. His gas count is starting to get high. Admittedly, it wasn't as high as Cruncher's was right there. Extended thermal lance, you can see, actually costs 200. So building a Colossus and extended thermal lance at this rate is difficult. But that very early gas from Cruncher on the 1 base seems to have enabled him to get that upgrade very, very quickly. Robotics facility working on this Colossus, and still no sign of that right now for ARG. He can actually afford it if he wants to. He has the gas now. Looks like he's going for another big warp-in instead, however. Mortal in the field as well. Only a single one. It's not going to make a huge difference. Cruncher looking for his second Colossi. Still no extended thermal lance right here for ARG. That could prove to be problematic. There's a nice window right here for Cruncher to go in there and have a serious range advantage over his opponent. Still no sign of it from ARG right here as well, and he has nowhere near the gas he needs either. So he's going to be on the Colossus with 6 range versus the Colossi with 9 range. I say Colossi because, of course, it will be plural. There'll be a second one out momentarily. The question is, will Cruncher want to go in? The army supply is very, very equal one way or the other. ARG has had 1 more gateway for quite some time. You can see that Cruncher's been sitting on 3 this entire time, so he'll be able to get a slightly larger army, but without that range upgrade, I don't know, it's dodgy. I mean, he doesn't have Blink Stalker, so he can't get in nice and close, nice and easy. So this is going to be dangerous one way or the other. Here comes Cruncher. Cruncher needs to get the range on it immediately. There's the sentry play, and it's pretty good there by Cruncher, who's able to block off a couple of those Stalkers from escaping. And now Cruncher, with the upper hand in terms of army supply, he's able to do good damage, and he's able to push his opponent right back to his base. Cruncher looking pretty good right here as ARG tries to hold up, and this might be the final engagement right here for ARG, who doesn't have the range. A little bit of micromanagement there by Cruncher is all he needs with that extra +3 range. He takes down 1 Colossus, he looks for the second one, and Cruncher driving ARG all the way back right here, throwing him away, and ARG actually coming in for a pincer movement. He warps in right there, needs to deal with that Immortal, he cleans it up. Cruncher is still looking pretty good right now. The Colossus taking fire. Down it goes. The second one's shields collapsing, and ARG is going for it. He holds the defense quite nicely, but he knows he can't win it, and